English learners in special education. Introductory question. As an English language learner, you have to pass 1. The 4 domains of the English Language Proficiency Assessment of California, also known as LPAC. Those 4 domains include reading, listening, speaking, and writing. 2. The Basic Skills Assessment. DIBELS 8 if you are in elementary, and or the reading inventory if you're in secondary. And 3. Earn a C or higher in either the grade level English language art class or your English language development class. However, what if you are an English language learner who is dually enrolled in the special education program with an individualized education plan due to a learning disability? Research has shown that there is a disproportionate overrepresentation of English learners in special education. In other words, if you have 10% of the school population being English learners in the specific special education population, that percentage might be significantly higher. 40 or 50%. English learners in special education have a significantly, almost impossible, harder time reclassifying out of the English language program. For example, maybe they pass the listening and the speaking portion, but due to their learning disability, they have a harder time with reading and writing and can't pass that portion. And that might be directly linked to their learning disability, henceforth making it impossible for them to reclassify out of the English learner program if the requirements for reclassification are that they pass all 4 sections of the LPAC exam as well as the basic skill assessment. Research has also found that English learners develop a negative self-view of being a scholar, such as they can't do it, this class is too hard, they just may feel like a dummy, or just not like school anymore. English learners are also not academically challenged. In other words, counselors and other teachers, once they find out a student's an English learner, may decide that putting them in an AB class might not be the right choice for them. And research also found that English learners who reclassify prior to 8th grade tend to have a better academic career than those English learners who don't reclassify after 8th grade or who reclassify later on in their academic careers. Problem statement. So shouldn't English learners, students dually enrolled in special education, be given the opportunity to exhibit means of reclassification and other formats rather than that prescribed to English learner students without a special education classification? Solution statement. As a result of this research and the fact that English learners in special education almost never reclassify, LAUSD has created a bulletin. It created a bulletin to address the disproportionate and unfair classification of English learners in special education. This bulletin, entitled Bulletin 6890.3, this is the 3rd version, Guidelines for IEP Teams on the Reclassification Procedure for English Learners with Disability, was created as a direct response to California Department of Education's 2019 California Practitioner Guide for Education English Learners with Disability. This policy addresses the issue of English learner students in special education and the low rates of reclassification within this particular demographic population. As a result, Bulletin 6890.3 is a way to reclassify English learners in a special education program without the criteria of reclassification typically set forth for English learner students not in a special education program. English learner special education students with the benefit of 6 years or more as an English learner and a second year IEP have the benefit of reclassifying without meeting the normal reclassification criteria. What data could be used to address the effectiveness of this bulletin and reclassifying students? Well, you could always look at the overall reclassification rate to determine the number of students who have reclassified at any given year. However, this number may not be the right number to um, data to look at, as it looks at all of the English learners who are reclassifying. So instead, maybe a better data set to examine to determine the effectiveness of this policy is a comparable rate of classification of the special education population to other years to determine if increase and reclassify fluent English proficient student exist. For example, maybe you examine last year's number specifically in the special education population, and then you examine this year's numbers to determine whether there's an increase in students reclassifying. Or better yet, to determine if the target rate of reclassification is being met. Another data set that could be looked at is monitoring RFF special education students immediately after reclassifying and for a couple of years afterwards to determine if RFF special education students could continue to experience academic success in a similar fashion as the general population RFF students. So this would be looking specifically at grades of these students the year after they were classified and maybe 4 years afterwards, just to ensure that they are meeting the needs of reclassification. Thank you.